What's up, you guys? Adam here with Anabolic Climbing, and today it's time to talk about the FDA crackdown of our favorite peptide websites and basically trying to stop them from selling GLP-1s. So if you guys like this kind of content and updates on what's going on in the gray markets of the US, please hit the like, subscribe, and alert, drop a comment, helps out a lot. So sorry for being sick. I'm still not feeling well from Christmas, still hacking up stuff, which isn't great. And over New Year's, the FDA, so no new law was passed, but the FDA basically switched their policy. And if you guys remember during COVID, there was actually a GLP-1 shortage. Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk were unable to keep up with demand for GLP-1s. So they enlisted the help of compounding pharmacies and other groups to basically help facilitate the supply of the GLP-1s until they were able to until they were able to keep up with supply from the market. And it basically created this awesome gray area where your compounding pharmacy could get you a GLP-1, or what then happened was these research peptide sites started to enter, and what they basically were saying is, hey, we're selling these compounds and they are for research purposes only, and these are not for human use, but you know, we're all adults here. We know what people were doing. We know that folks were basically using this as a front and a cover to sell compounds that would otherwise be illegal to distribute to human beings and marketing them as such. And these companies got so big that they were, they were sponsoring bodybuilding shows and sponsoring athletes. And, these were multi-million-dollar businesses selling compounds that, even if they're FDA approved, they did not have the rights to sell these compounds. So this could be compounds like Ozempic, tirzepatide, retatrutide, and eventually Eli Lilly was like, what the fuck? Everyone is making money on retatrutide but us. We just got through phase 3 patents, and they basically leaned on the FDA and said, hey, we need to make money on our product as opposed to everyone else. And you know what? That's super fair. But that also means a couple of different things. Number one, the FDA is going to start cracking down on peptide websites immediately. And you can see this straight up. Already, sites like Omega Amino and Modern Amino have stopped listing their GLP-1s. There was actually a period where Omega, I think, deleted their Instagram page and shut their site down for about 24 hours and just to remove all of their materials on New Year's so they didn't get hit by the FDA, which makes a lot of sense. Additionally, the FDA says they're launching a green list to protect Americans from illegally imported GLP-1s. And they're basically, and we're doing this to try to help and crack down on the illegal drugs entering the U.S. But I don't know how much of this is going to be targeted at the shipments itself versus putting pressure on these peptide facilities that are domestically owned. Basically, they're saying that it's very obvious that a lot of these GLP-1s and compounded GLP-1s are coming in from overseas, which is true. We're getting these things from China, from a little bit from Mexico, but mostly from China is where the raw materials are coming from. And yeah, ultimately this stuff is coming straight to folks' door if they were willing to go the gray market route rather than the peptide websites. So basically you could pay with Bitcoin as opposed to paying with a credit card. And I don't know what the FDA's overall enforcement reach is going to be, because if you guys are aware, Trump and RFK cut down on a lot of the enforcement division of the FDA. So it remains to be seen on how much these guys are going to be able to help it. It appears that state attorney generals are going to step in using consumer protection laws to basically go after some of these peptide websites. And the FDA enforcement says they're going to be targeting telehealth providers as well. But it's a little bit too soon to figure out what the full rate of this crackdown is going to be. As always, just for risk management, I would always encourage folks that are interested in taking compounds like this to go the safest routes they can. If you can afford to buy stuff from Eli Lilly or Novo Nordisk, you totally should. If you can afford to go through your compounding pharmacy, totally a good idea. In the event that you are spry enough to go into the underground, one of these gray market channels has essentially been closed off to you. Are there still peptide websites that are trying to offload their GLP-1s, even though they could get absolutely smacked down for this? Yes. I was doing a quick search today and saw folks that were still selling all three of the GLP-1s and are just saying, all right, we're going to go full YOLO on this. It's going to be what it's going to be. Or the punishment is not outweighing the potential profit. And that's a choice. I have seen no shortage of stuff happening from various dealers and Chinese suppliers seem to still be supplying. Whether or not folks are no longer receiving shipments, I'll keep you guys in the loop. But I just wanted to make a quick update to give you guys an understanding of what's going on in the underground so that you guys can make the right decisions for yourselves about your own potentially enhanced journeys. Last but not least, with these loopholes being closed, it's starting with the GLP-1s, but it's not unreasonable that some of the other compounds could potentially get crackdowns on. Potentially anything that's FDA approved could begin to get pulled from a lot of the peptide websites. Some of that could potentially be methylene blue, but I don't think so. Potentially, in the event that someone wanted to go through the trials of BP157, that's a thing that could happen. The full extent of this remains to be seen. Do I think this is going to affect the illicit markets that much? I think they're probably going to want to pick up the slack. The demand for these compounds isn't going anywhere. It's only accelerating. And I don't think everyone is going to go above board. A lot of people will, and I think that's good. You know, Eli Lilly created the compound. They deserve to monetize it. But for the folks in the underground, they're basically just going to get continually pushed either to dealers or to China directly. And we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, hopefully I'm going to get over this cold in the next couple days. I have a GHK Copper deep dive coming later this week. Just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on in the new year. Either way, appreciate you guys all tremendously. Do not forget to hit a like or a subscribe or drop a comment. That stuff is always appreciated. But yeah, man, I'm Adam with Adam Climbing, wishing you guys good luck. Happy sending and stay healthy out there. Cheers.